So, Pride is a movie about a gay activist group and their support for Welsh miners in the 80s. This group was called Lesbians and Gays Support the Miners, and it follows them as they help raise money for these miners as they go on strike. At the time, Margaret Thatcher was prime minister, and she put bunch of laws in place that were a detriment to the miner communities. So they decided to go on strike to help preserve their jobs and communities. And this gay group saw another minority group in need of help, and they decided they want to help raise money for them. And the movie follows this group as they go into the Welsh community, and it shows the Welsh community slowly come to accept them. The political message that this movie shows is that minority groups who are struggling should work together and help each other despite their differences so they could work towards their individual goals. Because when you work against a government with minority groups, you need as much help as you can get since governments are so big. And this movie does a perfect job of showing how these groups with very big differences can come together to help each other in their times of needs. And it is the main message of this movie. So when this gay group was initially made, no minor groups, communities, or even the union would accept their help because they were gay. They were afraid the labels that were thrown on to gay people would be thrown onto them, like calling them perverts, things like that. So their prejudice against gay people stopped them from getting the help that they really needed in their time of need. But eventually, one minor community accepted their help, and it was a small town in Wales. When this gay group went and met with the community of that town, they were very surprised that they were getting help from a gay group because at the time, minors and gays were two groups that you wouldn't really think would work together. But as they got to know each other more, they slowly started to accept them. So this gay group made their initial town greeting and it went very, very bad. But like I said, over the time of the movie, it shows the town slowly start to accept the help from this gay group and even learn to be great friends with them and help each other out. So as this gay group and this town committee were helping each other, an old man on the town committee ends up talking to this group and brings up a banner that the town had from 100 years ago that they have stashed away somewhere. And on the banner, it shows a picture, a symbol of two people shaking and holding each other's hands. And he brings this up because he wants to mention that groups, small groups especially, should be able to help each other in their times of need. And the leader of this gay group says that he agrees, and he says there's no point in fighting for one rights if you're not going to fight for another group's rights. So there's no point in fighting for gay rights if you're not going to also fight for women's or workers' rights. And this banner is constantly brought up throughout the movie to greater emphasize the point that minor groups should be able to help each other in their times of need. So throughout the movie, the gay group is able to collect a lot of money to help this minor community. In fact, they become one of the biggest supporters of this minor community. They're able to donate so much money compared to other groups that are helping them. And these minor communities are very, very grateful. But eventually, an article comes out that gets published, coming to light that the gay community is helping the miners, and the miners' worst fears of getting the labels from the gay community thrown onto them come true. And unfortunately, a lot of prejudice is thrown on to the minor community that is from the gay community. And a bunch of minor towns from all over the UK, not just the Welsh town, end up saying that they need to come together and vote to see if they still want help from the gay community because they don't want to be shown in this bad light that the gay community is shown in. So the gay community, feeling like they haven't helped enough, decide that they are going to go out in a big bang fashion and they are going to have one big fundraiser to help raise a lot of money in the time of need. Because right now, in that point in the movie, it's the winter, so they're struggling a lot more. And the gay community decides to have a show where they have people, straight, gay, minors, everyone from every different group come together to help these minors in their time of need. And they end up collecting thousands of dollars to help this minor community. Unfortunately, when they were going to that vote that day, they showed up late because of a miscommunication that happened to purposely make the gay group and their supporters miss the vote. So it would be biased towards them. And eventually they get voted out and they no longer accept the gay community's help. But they still get those thousands of dollars that the gay community was able to raise for them. And eventually the miners end their strike like they do because they can't afford it anymore without anyone's support. And they go back to their jobs. And that's basically how that part of the story ends. Unfortunately, the gay community cannot help them anymore because they aren't accepting their help. But at the end of the movie, we get to see the gay pride parade. And LGSM, or Lesbians and Gays Support the Minors, show up to this pride event with their banners and they want to march. But unfortunately, the pride event planner says that they cannot show political messages in this pride parade because they want to show support and they want to be a happy vibe going on instead of the political messages that they're trying to show. So they get pushed to the back of the parade. But a bunch of miners, thousands of them from different towns all over the UK, end up showing up in support of the gay community at this pride parade because they wanted to show their support for the gay community as the gay community had showed support for the miners in their greatest time of need. So in the end, LGSM has to be marching in the front because so many miners end up showing their support and their group was so large that they had to march in the front of the parade. And it truly shows how if you help one group, that group will help you in return. And it shows what the movie is trying to convey, that minority groups should be helping each other in their greatest time of need. And I think that is a great message for the movie to show.